Wesley the crazy man, shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.
What's going on, world? I'm Wesley from Aconnectiontv, the network, the one channel on YouTube where we actually adopt similar connections despite our differences. And this video is for the review of The Walking Dead Season 4, Episode 11. Now, my last review says it was Episode 9 for inmates, but I guess I can't count because when I went on the website, just to make sure that I had everything, squared off, it said Episode 11, claimed. Any whore. We start this episode off with the new guy, Ford, riding with, what is her name? I cannot remember her name. And then when I went on the website to look at the cast and crew, she's not listed. So she's not important. Anyways, the young daughter, because somebody corrected me and said that when I was doing my other review, I said that she was the old daughter. But no, she's the young, she's not the youngest, but she's the middle one. Middle, we'll call her middle. Ford is riding with Middle in the middle of nowhere. I'm thinking to myself at this point, where is Glenn? Because that's the only person that I care about in this particular storyline is Glenn. I don't care about Middle, I don't care about Rosita, I don't care about Eugene, and I do not care about Ford. When I was watching this, I was kind of like, are we really about to get a whole episode of this? I mean, I like Glenn and all, but I don't really care for these other characters. But no, because an edit second later, we see Carl and we see Michonne. And Michonne has on this nice little blouse, this white little shirt, looking hot. And her dreads look done. I'm thinking to myself, like, who did her dreads over? But anyways, Carl even looked like he took a bath. Kinda. But I was just like, all right, so we back to the main storyline. These are my main people. I'm for Carl because I know he's going to act correct now that Michonne is here. And I'm for Michonne with her new getup and her new outfit or whatever. Carl is eating some dry ass cereal, wishing that he had milk. And Michonne was like, I could go for some soy milk right now. Carl's like, ew, that's disgusting. It made me throw up. Flashback moment. Move past that. And then, Carl's like, well, I'd rather powdered milk than soy milk. Then he's like, I'd rather Judith's. I thought that was I was like, aw, I'm like, aw, Carl and Kick-Ass. If only he knew that Kick-Ass was still alive, right? Rick is kind of excited that Michonne actually was able to make Carl laugh. And, it just really goes to show you that they've been really dealing with some terrible shit. I mean, we already know this, but it's like when you have that moment when there's just like life rears its beautiful head and you create a positive laugh, it's like aw, right? So Michonne and Rick talk, and Michonne is like, okay, what are we gonna do? What's the plan? Is this house gonna be the home that we're gonna be living in for forever? Like, what's going on? What's the plan? Rick is like, I don't really know. Why are you asking me these questions right now? This is not the prison. I'm not the head chief, the head honcho. Let's just wait this out. Let's just, relax in this house and we'll think about it later. Michonne's like, all right, but yeah, we need some supplies because this ain't gonna work, okay? Michonne is like, all right, me and Carl are gonna go out and get some supplies. Rick is like, I'll come. Michonne is looking at him like, nah, son, you stay here, relax, recuperate, you still a little weak from that battle, you know what I'm saying, when, the governor whooped that ass. So just relax a little bit, just chill. Me and Carl will go out just for a couple hours, at least for one day. Just relax for one day. I'm like, dang, why y'all gonna play my dude like that? Why y'all playing my dude Rick like that? I mean, I already know he got his ass whiz-zooked by the governor, but still, like, he up. He up. Anyways, Michonne and Carl go venture off and go get some supplies. And I'm like, what's gonna happen? Something's gonna happen. Because this is not just going to be an easy routine of going getting supplies. Something's going to happen. Rick goes back into the house. He tries to push the couch up to the door. He loses his breath. And then he's like, fuck this shit. Then he goes upstairs. He goes to lay down with a book and some water and his TikTokity watch. And I'm like, all right. Okay, set up. He goes to sleep. We visit Carl and Michonne, who go from house to house to house to go find some supplies. They ran inside one particular place, and they get some supplies. They walking along, and you know, since Rick had a little conversation with Michonne, you know, Michonne has it in her mind that she needs to try to keep Carl upbeat because, you know, Rick was like, I need your support with this. So Michonne tries to, like, you know, lighten up the situation. What did you get? Did you get any comics? Did you get any candy bars? Guess what I got? Crazy cheese. I'm like, ew, throw up, gag. Like, first of all, why are you wasting that food, son? And then third of all, like, gag. Like, I could never understand why people would put, like, a ton of whipped cream. Ugh. Yeah, a ton of whipped cream in their mouth. It's like certain textures, once it hits the little pendulum bell thing in the back of your mouth, tonsil, once it hits that, and like I get a gag reflex. Shit don't really mess with the back of my throat. That's just nasty. Like coconut is nasty, whipped cream is nasty, all that shit. She did all that, and Carl looked at her like, you stupid. And then we moved past that. Michonne was like, hey, well, you know, my baby, my 3-year-old, I used to make him laugh all the time. Carl's like, what? You had a baby? What? Let me find out. What's going on? What's the name? Were you married? What is this all about? Michonne is like, I will answer all of your questions once we clear out the room, once we realize there ain't shit up in here, and then we go to the next room. You can ask me one question at a time. Long story short, we find out that Michonne's 3-year-old son was Andre Anthony. And I'm thinking to myself, that child did not look 3. He looked like an infant, from what I remember. But okay, Andre Anthony. My brother's name is Andre Allen. So I'm like, all right, no problem. We can adopt similar connections despite our differences. They go through the house. They find peppermints. They find this portrait. You know, they're finding supplies. And then, you know, we find out that Michonne has never told anybody about Andre Anthony, and that Carl is the first person to find out about Andre Anthony. Carl is going through a slight stage of depression, or state of depression, when thinking about Judith, because he doesn't know that Judith is still alive, and that is his only sister, and in his mind she's gone. And he reflects on the death of Judith and compares it to the death of Andre Anthony, and saying that, hey, maybe they're together in the same world or whatever. And so Carl goes off, and then Michonne looks at this painting. She rips up the painting, and it's like Jesus with like his eyes gouged out and like an X across his mouth and like blood all over the place. And I'm thinking to myself, why was this wrapped up? This family was screwed up. So for some insane reason, Michonne gets like this gut-wrenching feeling to look beyond the door where the picture was leaning up against. So I'm thinking to myself, there has to be like a gang of zombies up in here for some insane reason, or somebody hung themselves, or something crazy. She goes into a nursery. I'm like, okay, I guess. Then she goes into another room. It's just all pink. And in this pink room, there's like 5 bodies. And I'm like, okay, it's a family. I don't recall seeing a little baby 3-year-old body. I know I saw like 5 adult bodies and 1 grandmother in a rocking chair with her head blown out. I don't know what that whole thing symbolized. Maybe I was a little lost. I was too amped and ready to get back to to Rick's situation with the people that entered the house. But before I even digs into that, let me talk about this whole Glenn waking up and realizing that they drove him 3 fucking hours. 3 fucking hours away from the prison. I'm thinking to myself, why is this little, the governor, the mayors, the president's fucking sister of the one that he wanted to sleep with, whatever. The Middle. I keep forgetting her name. Her name is Middle. Why did Middle not wake Glenn's ass up? Okay, fine. She wrote all the addresses down. She was writing the street names and all that down. Great. Okay, so she has a brain to some degree. But I'm like, all right, is she just sitting here with Glenn to make sure that Glenn is okay? Like, she knew what Glenn wanted to do, and I'm like, why didn't she just wake his fuck ass up? They drove 3 hours from the destination to walk 3 hours. I mean, imagine they were in a fucking truck. Now they gotta walk all. I don't know, I'm a little annoyed with this broad. Like, why the hell is Glenn keeping Middle around? Like, I don't get it. Rosita need to take Glenn's place. Although Rosita seems a little bit lost. I don't know. I'm just annoyed with anybody that has any relation with the governor. I'm annoyed with them. Like, I don't want to see them on my screen. Glenn punches Ford because Ford is like, Maggie's as good as dead, so what's the point of you going to find her? I'm like, damn, son, damn. At this point, I don't know about y'all, but I really thought that Glenn was about to murk this dude. I'm like, all right, he got an MK-47 or whatever kind of gun that is on his side. I know Glenn is weak as hell, and Glenn has always been a punk, you know what I'm saying, in situations. He always seems to have luck to get out of these situations. Like, he never really uses training or like, it's never done on purpose. It's always like a luck situation. So he drops the bag, and I'm like, oh shit, something about to go down. What's about to go down? Is he about to faint again? Glenn, he turns around, punches Ford. Ford is like, what, you son of a bitch? And then he charges. They have this like white girl battle. You know when the white girls is pulling each other hair like, ah, let me go, Becky. No, Emily, no, you bitch. Becky, let me go. You know when they have those little kind of fights on the stories, like Young and the Restless, that's what Glenn and Ford was going through. Off the sideline, you know, Middle was trying to break it up. I'm like, she's not really doing anything. And Rosita's just sitting there with her pigtails like, mighty gone. And then off to the side, again, you see Eugene, the token scientist who knows why everything happened with the zombies and how to stop it. Apparently, there's this big old plan to go to Washington to figure this whole thing out and to save the world. I'm like, really? I don't know if I buy that. Like, huh? But zombies start to come out from the cornfields, and then Eugene gets all crazy, grabs a gun, and starts shooting up the truck and shit. I'm like, oh, this dumb motherfucker. All right, yeah, he the scientist because he don't know what the fuck he doing. The gunshot stopped the two white chicks from fighting, and then Glenn and Ford come. They all battle, pop, 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 and all the zombies are gone. The gasoline tank is lit up, so it starts pouring gasoline out. It drains the truck, so the truck is immobile. Glenn is like, sorry about your fucking car, but I'm still out. I'm going to get my wife. Ford is like, oh, whatever. Rosita is like, well, there's no point in staying here. The car is busted, so I'm going with Glenn. So the whole team Ford rides and walks off with Glenn because the car is done. Now let's get to the meat and potatoes of this fucking episode, and that's with my man Rick. Now, I'm thinking to myself, when the fuck is Rick coming back from his hiatus? When is he coming back from his broken down spirit, from his fucked up looking self? Like, when is the G coming back that is Rick? I'm like, this is your moment, son. This is your moment. Prove yourself. Prove your worth. Prove your worth. Okay? W-O-R-F. Prove your worth. He wakes up and he hears commotion in the house. I'm thinking to myself, well, oh shit, what the fuck is this? Like, okay, we got some scragglers. We got some scavengers up in here. Rick gets up. He's like, oh shit. He goes to the door. He sees one guy walking in with an MK. He's like, fuck this. I can't. I got to get under the bed. So he gets under the bed. He grabs the Bible or whatever he was reading. Then he grabs the water. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, he's smart. My smart Rick is coming back. Rick coming back. What you gonna do, son? What you gonna do? You don't know how many people it is. You on your Metal Gear Solid. You on your snake tip right now. So he laid out in the bed. I don't understand how the dude walking up didn't see Rick under the bed, because we saw from the camera's eye view, but how the guy didn't notice Rick, I don't know. Whatever. So we moved past that. The guy paces back and forth through the room, right? Rick is just like, he's shaking, he's shook. Like, Rick is scared out of his motherfucking mind. I'm like, okay, although Rick is trying to make his way back, he's still pussy right now because he's shivering in his boots. The guy ends up falling asleep on the bed. Another guy comes up, he like, yo, why you sleeping on the bed, my dude? Then the guy is like, shit, I've been tired, my dude. I'm ready to go to sleep. You wake me up talking about, am I comfortable, bitch? You know I was sleeping. Why you waking me up talking about, am I comfortable? Go somewhere, my dude. The dude is like, yo, I want to lay on this bed, son. In the beginning, I thought that this was about to be some like gay moment or something. They was about to have some kind of like porn scene or something, and Rick was going to have to endure this. I don't know where my head was. But why you waking another dude up talking about, I want to lay in this bed, but the other rooms got kid beds? I doubt, but that was kind of hard to believe. Like, you could have laid your ass on the fucking couch for all that matters. But anyways, the dude is like, nah, you're not taking my bed, dude. So they fighting. Then the dude that comes up drops the guy that was laying down on the floor. I'm like, oh shit, Rick wants to be found out because Rick is laying under the bed right now. So the dude that intervened, the guy that was sleeping, is suffocating him on the floor, suffocating him. Turns him to the side, and the guy that's getting suffocated and choked out notices Rick is under the bed. So of course he tries to say something, but he can't say nothing because he's getting murked. The dude's choking him. The guy's dead. Rick is losing his mind. He's like, oh shit, we got killers up in this motherfucker. I got to get the fuck out of here. Because I'm thinking to myself, ain't gonna be long before the dude wake up and becomes a zombie. So Rick, you got to get your ass up. You sitting there laying under the damn bed. Get your punk ass up. Rick, get your punk ass up. Rick. So, you know, the dude that wanted to sleep on the bed, he falls asleep on the bed. Rick takes this opportunity, he hits his ass up. He still don't know how many people was in the house. He surveys one room, goes into the hallway. Somebody comes upstairs, he goes into another room. Then he goes into a side room, leans up against the wall. Some guy with a tennis ball comes in. He leaves. Rick surveys the room again. Something about, hey, wake y'all ass up. We can get the gun. Come on, let's go. Some shit. The guy that was laying on the bed wakes up. They leave the room. Rick tries to go in, but he doesn't go in. Then he comes back. The people come up the stairs. He goes back in the room. He grabs a trophy or something like that. Then he goes into some bathroom that's off to the side. He turns around, lo and behold, there's a guy sitting there in the tub. I don't know what the fuck he was doing. I don't know if he was taking a shit on the tub or something. I don't know. He was just sitting there, just idle and silent. Rick sees them. They acknowledge each other, and then they attack each other. Bong, bong, bong. Rick murks the dude, chokes him to death. I'm like, all right. Rick got his strength back up. His strength game is up, although he was kind of wheezing and shit. After the whole debacle, I thought the dude was going to grab the scissors that was on the counter and shake him, but he didn't. Do a Michonne to the governor, but he didn't. Long story short, all the while, I'm thinking to myself, when is Michonne and Carl going to come? Because if Michonne and Carl come to this mix, this going to be some shit. This episode reminded me of when I had got held at gunpoint in my house. And, you know, I was expecting company. My brothers were supposed to come through. Jay and Mike, my B fam, was supposed to come through my house, but, you know, people came into my house and held me at gunpoint. So this put me in my position where, this put me in Rick's position where I was just like, oh shit, like what if my peoples comes to the house? I got to get out, right? Long story short, Rick, now that he killed the dude, he has a gun. He finds a window, opens up the window, hops out onto the roof, comes down off the roof, comes down onto the first floor of the house, and then he still on his solid snake shit. He, you know, stealthily gets to the side of the house where it's almost time for him to exit. But then the tennis ball guy comes out. Long story short, the zombies that Rick killed, the two guys that Rick killed become zombies. They go into the house. They start bucking. And this is his opportunity to run to Carl and Michonne, who were just about to get into the house, and they escape. This episode was off the chain. I thought this episode was good. I'm glad that we closed off knowing or learning what actually happened to Rick. You know, Rick, Carl, and Michonne, they come up to the banner saying a sanctuary is beyond this point. Come to the sanctuary. I can't wait to see what this fucking sanctuary is going to be like. Unfortunately, when we get to episode 12 entitled Still, we're going to be dealing with Beth and Daryl. I know last episode I had everybody's names fucked up. Y'all, look, y'all. a brother work. You know what I'm saying? I just don't do this YouTube for kicks and giggles. I got a job, I works, I be tired as shit. So, like right now, it's 5:50 in the AM. I'm doing this damn video, but I love y'all. I love doing the videos where I get regular commentary and I read all your comments. I may not, you know, respond to all of the comments, but I read all the comments. So shout out to all my people that's working, struggling in life, and trying to get their shit going, paying bills, got real shit going. You know what I'm saying? I can't live the lavish life and just make videos all my life. I can't do that. I can't do that. And I really appreciate y'all watching the videos with me as myself doing these reviews. It's a beautiful thing. When I do the videos as myself, I'm able to connect and give you truth. When I do the videos as Mona, it's all an act. So I don't really feel as connected as some of you guys really think that I am. Especially with the whole bad girl shit. Like, I'm not connected to that. That's why I started doing some of the interviews as myself, so I could be connected. Like, really. Because other than that, I pay. Anyways, I love The Walking Dead. I love y'all. Thank you so much for watching this review. I love to come home on a Sunday and just know that The Walking Dead is going to come on and I have something to watch when I get off of work. Yeah. What do y'all think is going to happen? Like, who do y'all think? Do y'all think Carol is going to run this sanctuary? I really think Carol is going to run this sanctuary. And to be honest, I don't even think Tyree even cares about the hoe that died. I think that when Tyree finds out, they ain't going to really give two shits about it because they've already been through so much. I don't know about y'all, but that's what I'm thinking. And then I want to know Daryl and fucking Beth, where are they at? And how long is it going to take for Glenn to find Maggie's ass? Like, that's what I want to know. You notice that we ain't even see Maggie and the other two at all. At all. And, yeah, that's it. Deuces.